Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world these days, especially with the talk of tariffs, tariff this, tariff that. Who knows what's going on with the tariffs really? There's a, it's a yo-yo of first, we're gonna tariff, then we're not gonna tariff, then we are tariffing, but then we're gonna give a 30-day extension, then we're gonna tariff after the 30 days, but then we're gonna not tariff and we're going to give you 90 days so you can come to some sort of business. Then we're going to only tariff China, but then we're only, after having a meeting with NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, if I'm not mistaken, then he's only tariffing certain things in China. So for example, chip manufacturing is not getting tariffed, and I don't know. I'm sure you know more than I do. It's a guarantee. But today, recently, in Italy's prime minister, let's go check it, take a gander, right? If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Prime Minister, why did I say that so weird? Meloni? She seems nice. Anyways, so in Italy, their prime minister, that lady, she came to the White House to talk about some sort of agreements. Now, I want to know what kind of agreements Donald Trump expects from the world. But I guess what I'm hearing, or what I've read, I guess I should say, is that this prime minister lady, Meloni, is going kind of against EU, what they normally do. Like, none of them want to negotiate with Donald Trump because they think he's a terrorist or whatever you want to call him. Okay, they have all these names for him. Whatever you think about the guy, they don't want to do deals with him. So she's kind of going around that, saying, nah, I'm just gonna see. Maybe she's like, you know what? I don't want to do deals with him, but I want to see what he has to bring up to the table. But I guess this is after they had their meeting. So let's take a look at this bad boy, shall we?
Thank you very much, everybody. And I've been briefed on the Florida State University, Tallahassee active shooting. I guess it's an active shooter.
It was an active shooting.
Fully briefed as to where
that was fucked up. The shooting in Florida, and just, I don't want to say much about it because it's just so crazy. But anyways, messed up.
We are right now. It's a shame.
It is a shame.
Horrible thing. Horrible that things like this take place. And we'll have more to say about it later. In the meantime, it's an honor to have the Prime Minister of Italy with us.
I could definitely
Prime Minister Meloni, who's doing a fantastic job. I would say that she has taken Europe by storm and highly respected. Everybody loves her and respects her, and I can't say that about many people. And she's
about many people.
And we really have a great relationship between Italy and ourselves. And we talked about trade. We talked about many things.
Or is that French?
During our luncheon, and she'll be saying a few words. But she's a very special person, and it's nice to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you for your warm welcome. Thank you for this occasion, which is aimed to strengthen
Do you hear that?
our relation, our
That,
friendship.
like, random
that comes from very
audio?
far. You know, today is April 17, and April 17 marks the anniversary of the agreement that allowed Cristoforo Colombo to make his trip. And I say to remember how ancient are our ties, but also to remind that we both share another fight, which is the fight against the woke and ADI ideology that would like to erase
she said
our
EDI
history.
Instead of DEI.
And as I know that we share lots
barrier,
of things on tackling illegal migration, on fighting against synthetic drugs. You know, Italy has been one of the nations that made a plan against fentanyl, for example. But we have been talking about many bilateral topics and things that we can do together, about defense, about economic, about economy, about space, about energy, Italy will have to increase its LNG imports and also nuclear that we are trying to develop. I think there can be ways to work together.
Ooh,
and the
Fallout?
Italian enterprises will invest as they've been doing for many years. As you know, in the next years, I think around 10 billions.
Yeah.
That shows how interconnected our economies are. And that's very important, Mr. President. It's not only about Italy, it's about...
She said 10 billion. Now, $10 billion, $1 billion, $500 million, it's a lot of money. $250 million is a lot of money. But she's mentioning $10 billion. Now, I'm sure it's messed up, but all I'm thinking about is all these like super micro or all these what was the other companies? There were companies that were vowing, I think it was Apple, 500 billion, and then a bunch of other companies, 100 billion there, 200 billion there. She's talking about a whole country of 10 billion, I think. Am I reading that wrong? But yeah. Anyways, 10 billion is still a lot of money, though.
The exchange between us is...
I do not have anywhere close to $1 billion. So 1 billion. So $10 billion is a lot of fucking money. You know, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, how are companies talking about donating or investing or doing whatever with Donald Trump with 100, 200 billion dollars, not million, billion with a B. And she is the prime minister. Why do I keep saying prime minister weird? Anyways, she is the prime minister of Italy and talking about $10 billion within a good amount of time. So, you know, it's weird. It's really weird that there are companies that can afford to do that when a whole country can't. Something doesn't seem right. Just saying.
It's a very big one. Investments, trade. It's a topic that we are discussing in this week. But at the end of the day, look, somebody calls me, I was saying it before, such a Western nationalism. I don't know if it is the right word, but I know that when I speak about West, mainly I don't speak about a geographical space. I speak about a civilization.
True,
and I want to make that civilization stronger. So I think even if we have some problems, okay?
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell
$1 million.
Between the two shores of the Atlantic, it is the time that we try to sit down and find solutions. So I want to thank President Trump for having accepted an invitation to pay an official visit to Rome in the near future.
That'd
and
be
consider
cool.
the possibility in that occasion to meet also with Europe. The goal for me is to make the West great again.
And her saying the West again brings me back to what she was saying like a second ago. That when she was saying that when she talks about the West, she doesn't think about like the area in the planet. When she says the West, she thinks of it as like the culture. And I would say that's like everybody now, because even in the United States, I've heard people say the West. We are the West. You know, some people just say the United States are here, but I've heard people say in the West, so meaning like geographically everywhere, referring to the United States, which is crazy because now that we're referred to as the West. Is that where the Wild West comes from? Now these are the questions we should be asking.
Okay, and I think we can do it
And
together.
my quality just died.
We will keep on work on that. I'm going to close. I want to say only, I'm proud of sitting here as Prime Minister of an Italy that today
I like that.
has very good, as a very good situation despite the difficulties, a stable country, reliable country, 1 million more jobs in the last 2 years and a half.
Great.
Inflation is going down.
1 million jobs is pretty good.
Forgive me if I promote a bit my country,
Yeah,
but you're a businessman and you understand me. So migration flow is going down 60%. So we are trying to do our best, but I think we can do it even better together. Also in Ukraine, I will close. Together we've been defending the freedom of Ukraine. Together we can build a just and lasting peace. We support your efforts, Donald.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think we're doing well. In that
Seems like a
effort.
smart
We're gonna get it
lady.
done, and we'll see if we can. We want to save. On average, think of it, every week 2,500 people are being killed, mostly soldiers, Russian, Ukrainian soldiers. And if we can save those lives, that would be a very good thing. And
Yep.
so we'll see what we can do. And I think we're getting close, but we'll let you know very soon. And you've been very helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you. Any questions?
Did you see? Let's back it up 4 seconds. Look at her face. She gets like so like whoa when they were like, any questions? One more time.
Any questions?
That's funny. Okay. Yeah. She didn't expect it. Okay. All right. Let's continue. That was funny. That was funny. Wow. What a reaction.
Does the Wagner Group have to respond to your ceasefire proposal before you put secondary tariffs or sanctions on Russia?
We'll see what that will be. We're going to be hearing from them.
She, in case you didn't hear what she said. She was talking about putting secondary sanctions or tariffs on Russia. Couldn't hear the full thingy of the question, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. With the
This
answer.
week, very shortly, actually.
This week.
And we'll see, but we want it to stop. We want the death and the killing to stop.
On Jerome Powell, you said that the termination of Jerome Powell cannot come fast enough. He says he won't leave, even if you ask him to.
Oh, he'll leave. If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. But I don't think he's doing the job. He's too late, always too late, a little slow, and I'm not happy with him. I let him know it, and if I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast, believe me. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Question?
Are you trying to remove him, Mr. President?
Yeah, question?
Mr. President, what do you think Judge Mosberg in a case against your administration? So the Constitution does not tolerate willful disobedience of judicial order. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, you're going to have to speak to the lawyers. We have great lawyers.
Yeah, speak to the lawyers, because I can't understand what the hell you're saying.
I can tell you this, we're doing a fantastic job of getting criminals out of this country who Biden allowed into the country. Hundreds of thousands of criminals, murderers and drug dealers. And I was elected because of the fact, I would say maybe that was the number one factor, a lot of reasons, the economy, a lot of
I
things.
agree.
But one of the primary reasons I was elected is because I said, I'm going to get the criminals that he allowed to come into our country so stupidly through open borders. I'm going to get them out. And I got a lot of votes, record-setting numbers of votes, as you know. We won everything. The popular vote, all 7 swing states.
Popular vote.
We won
every
everything.
vote.
And that's what the public wanted. That's what I'm doing. But you'll have to speak to the lawyers because it's up to them.
Look at the quality of
What do you think
it.
of the proposal from France?
Say it.
What do you think of the proposal from France and UK of a peace mission in Ukraine with soldiers? And do you think that Italy should take part in it?
I don't know if you noticed, but do you see me like kind of leaning in? I'm like leaning into my fucking computer. Like I can hear what he's saying, the reporter, if I lean in while I'm wearing a headphone. Does that even make sense? Does my brain work? Apparently not. But yeah, in case you see me leaning in, it's me being stupid.
Well, I think Italy will have to make that determination, but peace missions are always good with me. I'm okay with peace
Me
missions.
too.
Yeah, please.
Mr. President, have you discussed, what areas of cooperation and discussed with the Prime Minister?
What if? What if he stopped giving me ads?
We discussed it very briefly. No, we're doing very well with negotiations, I think, with all countries. And Scott could tell you a little bit, but we are doing very well. We have a lot of countries that want to make a deal. Frankly, they want to make deals more than I do. Go ahead, Scott. Would you say something first?
Yeah, we've got a process in place. We're working on the big 15 economies. We had a fantastic meeting with Japan yesterday.
The big 15 economies.
Involved with the EU already, and then we have South Korea coming in next week, and I believe India is also talking. That's moving very quickly.
India, huh?
President Zelensky has said he has evidence that China is supplying weaponry or ammunition to Russia. Do you have any evidence along those lines? And also, he said we could see a minerals deal signed this week. Is that
Well, we have a minerals deal, which I guess is going to be signed on Thursday, Scott, next Thursday, soon. And I assume they're going to live up to the deal, so we'll see. But we have a deal on that. No, I have no comment on that. I have no idea. That's his statement, not mine.
President, there was reports that the UAE off the Israeli attack on Iranian nuclear facilities. Can you comment on that? Is that accurate?
And they said the attack is what?
That you waved off an Israeli plan to attack Iranian nuclear facilities.
I wouldn't say waved off. I'm not in a rush to do it because I think that Iran has a chance to have a great country and to live happily without death. And I'd like to see that. That's my first option. If there's a second option,
Interesting answer.
I think it would be very bad for Iran. And I think Iran is wanting to talk.
I honestly did not expect that. To want to make deals with Iran and talk peace and stuff with Iran. Honestly, I did not. When I think of a U.S. president, this is just like going back forever, I guess. When you think of like Iran and the countries over there, you think of just anger and constant not wanting to really make peace. When the reporter asked Donald Trump just now if they were going to attack those facilities, uranium, I think he said, and nuclear facilities. He said, and Donald Trump said he's not in. I thought he was going to just be like, yes, next question. But he said he's not even in a hurry. Not only that he thinks that it could be a great country in the future. Interesting. Very interesting. I did not expect it.
I hope they're wanting to talk. It's going to be very good for them if they do.
That would be good.
I'd like to see Iran thrive in the future.
That'd be cool.
Fantastically well.
Yeah.
I know the Iranian people. They're incredible people.
I also
Always
know
have
Iranian
been very
people.
smart, very energetic, very
Very
successful people. And I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt anybody. I really don't. But Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. It's, pretty simple. It's really simple.
I agree with that.
We're not looking to take their industry. We're not looking to take their land. All we're saying is you can't have a nuclear weapon. The deal that was made with Obama, that deal would have expired already. It was a terrible deal. It would have expired, and that gave them a clear path to a nuclear weapon. I wouldn't have accepted. That's why I terminated the deal. Number one, it was way too short. When countries are involved, you don't make short-term deals. These are countries with long lives, and I terminated that. And it was a great termination because it didn't allow us to do anything once it terminated. You know what the deal was. It was a terrible deal. Really, one of many terrible deals made by the U.S. But no, I'd like to see Iran thrive. And they can do that, I think, very easily. Or they can do it the other way. And the other way is not going to be good for them.
What's
It's going
the
to be
other
really
way?
bad for them.
What is it?
What do you make of the Nvidia CEO going to China and met with trade officials there?
Well, Jensen's an amazing guy. He's become a friend of mine. And
Of course he has.
I don't know, he's a person that's very proud of our country. He loves our country. I'm not worried about Jensen at all.
Mr. President, we're holding you in contempt. Will you take steps to to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States and put him in front of a judge?
Well, I'm not involved in it. I'm going to respond by saying you'll have to speak to the lawyers, the DOJ. I've heard many things about him, and we'll have to find out what the truth is. But I will say this, you know, we were inundated by millions of people, many millions of people during the Biden administration. They say 21 million. And a big percentage of those are criminals, serious criminals. I'm not saying just criminal because they came into the border illegally. I'm saying they're criminals at the highest level, murderers. Many of those people murdered more than one person, and they're on the loose. And I was elected to get rid of those criminals, to get them out of our country, or to put them away, but to get them out of our country. And I don't see how judges can take that authority away from a president. We've done an amazing job, Tom Homan.
And if I'm not mistaken, that guy that the judge keeps trying to bring back, that's the M13 or whatever, that gang. M16, M13, I forget. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude or not know my statistics, my actual information. But didn't they do like actual background checks and stuff like that? And it was verified that he was an actual gang member, and maybe he wasn't in the United States, but he used to be or something like that. I don't know. It's very all over the place with that.
We have done an amazing job. Nobody can believe the job we've done. Far greater than what I said. I mean, I got elected on that, but we've done much better. We have right now 99% border. It's a 99%. Nobody thought that would even be. Nobody's coming through our border practically. 2 weeks ago.
Wait, maybe
we had 9 people come through, all for medical reasons. We allowed them. We brought them through because.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What was it? 5 months ago, during the last administration, 5-6 months ago, during the making of this video. Okay, so if you're watching this in 3 years, it's irrelevant. But during the making of this video, 5? Right? You know, last administration, so it wasn't too long ago, 100 days or so. There were a ridiculous amount of people, something like 11,000 a week coming in to the United States. Some number, I'm sure you can easily Google it. And then, like he just said, the past week, there were only 9. So that is a 99.999%, decrease in people coming into the country. So that's kind of insane.
One had a heart attack, one had something else, all for medical reasons. We have a great border. We had a great border 4 years ago, but we have a border now that's even tighter, and we did that in a matter of weeks. And no, we need to get murderers and drug dealers and people that were in jail for horrible. They released jails, Georgia, from all over the world. They released them, not just South America, all over the world, the Congo and Africa. Many, many people come from the Congo. I don't know.
You know what? A lot of people give him shit for this, okay? Because they're like, why would you release jail or people from jails and insane asylums and bring them to the United States and pay for plane tickets for them? That doesn't make any sense. But, okay, all right. It does make sense, though, okay? There's a bush right here, okay? It does make sense, though, because let's say you have your own, it doesn't even have to be a country, okay? You have an apartment building. Most of the people in the apartment building are pretty fucking good, okay? They're pretty nice. They follow the rules. They don't write shit on the walls. They're not fucking anything up. They're nice. They're nice tenants for your apartment building. Got it? Now, there is a certain few people in this apartment building who are just fucking assholes. Don't want to leave because they think that it's just easier in your apartment building to just be an asshole and that's just the way it is. They're messing shit up. They're breaking your stuff. They're costing you They're costing you extra things going, you're not making any money from your apartment building now, okay? Because of that, just a select few assholes. Now, down the block, Joe Schmo decides to open up an apartment building, or Joe Schmo already had an apartment building. He didn't decide to open it up. He had an apartment building. The only thing he opened up is his doors. Wide open doors. Anybody can come into this bitch. Doesn't matter if we're completely full. Come in, make yourselves at home. So you go to your stupid assholes, just a select few of stupid assholes that are causing a ruckus for everybody else in your apartment building, and you tell them, hey, I'll pay for your fucking plane ticket, or not even a plane ticket. I'll pay for your Uber ride down the block to Joe Schmo's apartment. That you were talking about Joe Schmo's apartment, how better it is over there. They don't care that you do the shit that you do here. Everybody here, they want you to get in trouble and blah, blah, but at Joe Schmo's place, doors are wide open. You can go in there, do whatever you want. Of course, those guys are going to take the very first Uber/Lyft ride to Joe Schmo's house, and that's what happened. And isn't that fucked up? Isn't that fucked up? Yeah, you and your apartment building are all happy now because all those degenerate assholes are gone. But now Joe Schmo is fucked up because everybody else, not just you, but your cousin, your brother's uncle, everybody who owned an apartment building decided to bring their assholes that they have to Joe Schmo's place. And that's what happened. So now Joe Schmo got a whole new rework, all new management, and then the management there is like, hold on a minute. There's a bunch of people living here. They're not even paying for a room. They don't even have a room key. They're just laying on the floor. This doesn't make any fucking sense. So what they want to do is they're getting all these Uber and Lyft rides and sending them back to their original location. Sucks for those people, but that's where they belong and that's where they're going. Capiche?
What that is, but they came from the Congo, and all over the world they came in, opened their jails. Venezuela, practically all of their prisoners released into our country. We took them because we had an incompetent administration
Joe Schmo.
called the Biden administration, and to think what they've done to our country. And I was elected to straighten that out, and I'm doing that. But we have activist judges that don't want murderers to be sent out of our country. They don't want killers and drug dealers and drug lords and people from mental institutions. They want them to stay in our country, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's the liberal way, or as they call it nowadays, the progressive way. But I don't think it's the way that our country believes, and that's why I won in a landslide. Okay.
Mr. President, you did say that you are confident these deals will be done, but you also said that you're in no rush. Americans are seeing prices rise. They're seeing it on their bills. How long can they expect that pain to last?
So they've already seen it get much better, because if you were truthful, which you're not, I know you very.
That reporter is not, because she's only giving a partial thing. But my gas was down the other day. If that makes a difference. Were eggs down? I think actually eggs went up, or did they go down? I don't know. I normally buy like a 32 pack. I don't know. Let's see what he says.
Very well.
However you book your car, first check Kayak to compare hundreds of travel sites. Then do what people do. Recheck sites Kayak already.
You have gasoline that hit $1.98 yesterday in a couple of states.
$1.98.
You have gasoline's way down. The price of oil has dropped substantially. The price of groceries are substantially down. The price of eggs. When I came in, they hit me with eggs. I just got there. I was here for 1 week, and they started screaming at me, eggs have gone through the roof. I said, I just got here. I was there for 7 days, and I hear that eggs have gone through the roof before I got there. And they were screaming at me, the press, the fake news like you're fake. And the fake news is screaming at me like, about eggs. I said, I've only been here. This is my 7th day. And they were right. They went up 87%, and you couldn't get them. They said, you won't have eggs for Easter, which is coming up. Happy Easter, everybody. You won't have eggs for Easter. And we did an unbelievable job. And now eggs are all over the place, and the price went down 92%. And our Commissioner of Agriculture, Brooke, has done a fantastic job. They really have done a fantastic job. So prices haven't gone up. The only thing that's gone up, actually, is interest rates, because we have a Federal Reserve Chairman that is playing politics.
Powell?
Somebody that I've never been very fond of, actually. But he's playing politics. Interest rates should be down now. They should be coming down. In Europe, as you know, they reduce.
Interest rates are something that is very strange for me. I find it so interesting that there's Jeremy, I think it's Jeremy Powell, who's the one who's in charge of all that stuff. But how can it be that there's an individual, or like, I guess it isn't just an individual, but it's a group of people that come to a conclusion that decide whether to or whether not to increase or decrease in inflation? And how can you give that power to a person like that? I don't know. I find it so strange. But is that just me?
I guess 7 times. It looks like they're going to reduce them again and again and again. But our guy wants to play cute. But interest rates are pretty much even.
I don't think I've ever heard
Maybe
him
they
say
went
that,
up just a slight. Reduce them again and again and again. But our guy wants to play cute. But
play cute.
Interest rates are pretty much even. Maybe they went up just a slight bit, but that's the only thing. But that's because of the Federal Reserve. Because they're not very smart people.
Talk shit about everyone.
Go ahead, yes, sir. Please.
Not smart. Fake news.
Go ahead,
not smart.
please.
You regret nominating him, Jerome Powell?
Look, in the first 4 years, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. Stock market went up 88 points. I think he's terrible, but I can't complain because we had the most successful administration economically in the history of our country. I think we're going to do even better this time, because you will see that the numbers that we're taking in are astronomical. We're taking in tremendous amounts of money with the tariffs. We were treated very unfairly on trade, and countries are having a hard time getting used to the fact that they can't do that to us anymore, because we have a real president. We have a president that understands what it's all about. We had presidents that, in some cases,
how trade works. Let's say.
Were smart, but they didn't understand business, or they didn't like business, or it wasn't like a priority.
Let's see how it works, huh?
And then you had the last administration. The only thing they were good at was cheating in elections. That's about all they could do. They couldn't do anything. They were useless. They were incompetent. Worst administration in the history of our
did good if you say
country.
You
Worse than Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter died a happy man. You know why? Because he wasn't the worst president. Joe Biden was. So I think you're going to see some fantastic numbers when this all happens. It's happening now. I mean, everybody wants to make a deal. And if they don't want to make a deal, we'll make the deal for them. Because that's what's going to happen. We'll just say, this is what it is. But we want to listen to everybody. And I think I can say for Scott and the other people that are working on it that we're listening, and we're going to be very fair to people, but we're the one that really sets the deal, and that's what we'll be doing. Okay. Go ahead, please. Please.
A question to our Prime Minister.
Oh, you have a great Prime Minister. You're so lucky. Yes.
In Italiano.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay.
I'm not sure they do agree.
Presidente Meloni, volevo sapere cosa pensava del fatto che il Presidente Trump ha considerato.
Brother, you're speaking in Italian.
E poi se avete parlato delle spese militari e qual è il limite massimo a cui ha detto.
Speak American. Come on. Just kidding, it's English.
Massimi a cui può arrivare l'Italia. Abbiamo parlato del fatto che l'Italia sta mantenendo i suoi impegni, perché arriverà al prossimo vertice della NATO con il 2% che era già previsto, che è stato sottoscritto dai governi precedenti, perché siamo una nazione seria, ma non abbiamo parlato poi di quanto vada aumentata questa percentuale, anche se siamo ovviamente consapevoli che il tema della difesa sia un tema particolarmente importante di questo tempo. Per quello che riguarda la guerra in Ucraina, lei sa come la penso che ci sia chiaramente una, diciamo, ci sia stata un'invasione e che l'invasore da quel punto di vista fosse Putin e la Russia, ma non è questo che diciamo oggi quello che rivela è il fatto che insieme vogliamo lavorare, stiamo lavorando per cercare di arrivare in Ucraina a una pace che possa essere giusta e duratura. Penso che questi siano gli sforzi sui quali condividiamo il nostro lavoro, abbiamo condiviso anche oggi il
Andiamo, I
nostro
know
lavoro.
That sounded absolutely. That was so beautiful. What the hell was that? What did she say? Please?
Arrivederci.
No, I mean it sounded great.
It was about.
It was beautifully presented, but maybe I could hear what she said. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it was,
Go ahead.
it was about asking.
Guys,
Hold it, hold it.
Have some respect, please.
Thank you. No, wait.
No.
I want to hear what she said.
Trump to be like, shut up. What did she say?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go.
Prime Minister Meloni was asked what she thinks about the fact that President Trump holds Zelensky responsible for the war in Ukraine. And Prime Minister Meloni answered, well, actually, we have no, and also if you talked about the.
Lady sounds nervous. First of all, she probably is. She's she's like in front of TV, speaking to the president. High pressure situation, probably is nervous. On top of that, she is trying, if you can speak more than one language and you understand, it gets a little difficult and sometimes your brain does weird things. But if you speak more than one language and you try to translate, sometimes the words don't, in your language, the words don't line up properly, especially when you're saying it in English. So it sounds like that's what's happening right now.
Military spending, and the raising of the military spending,
Yeah.
and the first thing Prime Minister Meloni said is that no, actually, we didn't talk about the raise in military spending. Of course, Italy will keep its commitments with 2%, and then we will see, because we are absolutely aware of the fact that it is very important to.
Well, I will do
defense
that.
Is very important.
Wait. I will
It's
do
very
that.
important.
They've been asking if we decided another percentage about the defense expending.
Hold on a second. Why is it that the translator had to talk the whole time? If the prime minister, why can't I say that word today? If the prime minister can speak perfect English and understand it as well, very weird, don't know why. Maybe they had already a pre-discussion that that's what would happen. But
Spendings, and I said,
NATO.
yes, NATO. And I said that Italy is reaching the 2% as it was already decided. We didn't speak about a specific other percentage, but we are aware of the fact that defense is important for the future, and we see what also the work that we are trying to do at the European level.
And I don't hold Zelensky responsible, but I'm not exactly thrilled with the fact that war started. That was a war that would have never started if I were president. You'd have millions of people living right now that are dead. You'd have cities that would be open and thriving, and they'd have their beautiful turrets. Those turrets are the most beautiful in the world, but they're not with us any longer. They're smashed to smithereens, laying on the ground in a million pieces, getting hit by rockets, bombs, and bullets. And so I'm not happy
sorry
with...
for the audio and the quality. It's so late into the video already, but sorry. It's not me, I promise. I got a whole new PC, a whole new setup going. It's not me. It is, I think, where I'm recording this from on Forbes, their audio and video was recorded by a monkey. And a monkey who's clearly it was his first day on his job. Because it's horrible. It's horrible.
Him.
And I'm sorry.
And I'm not happy with anybody involved. I think it's a war. I know it's a war. It didn't happen for 4 years. It was never close to happening. It was never even a thought. And I spoke to President Putin about it a lot. It was the apple of his eye, but there's no way he would have ever gone in. if I were president. Now I'm trying to get him to stop because, as you know, Russia's a lot bigger. It's a bigger military force. And if you're smart, you don't go involved and get involved in wars that you can blame the man that was sitting in this seat. Biden, he didn't know what the hell was going on, but I can guarantee you that, and everybody agrees to it, if I were president, that war would have never taken place. I'm not blaming him, but what I am saying is that I wouldn't say he's done the greatest job, okay? I'm not a big fan. I really am. I'm not a big fan.
Oh my God,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Presidente Meloni, avete discusso di Cina e della possibilità che l'Europa poi rilanciarsi?
Is this Italian again? Crazy, delicious teriyaki matters. I love teriyaki. What is it?
Are you sure about the definition of parasite of European? Would you say again that the European are parasites?
It's never said.
Would you say again that
The European?
Have you said that Europeans are parasites?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't said. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Get this
Go ahead,
fake
please.
news out of the room. What
Go
the
ahead.
fuck?
No, wait, next.
If I was this guy, if I was Donald Trump, like, where is your source? Fake news that I said I was a parasite. What? Maybe he did say it. Who knows? He called a bunch of countries shithole countries. So would it be that surprising if he called Europeans a parasite? Not really.
Go.
Prime Minister Meloni just said we want to make Europe.
That lady creeping around the corner there.
Sure.
West, yeah.
Did you? I guess that's what she said, Mr. Prime Minister. How are you going to do that? And are you looking to do it to counter China, who is really trying to gather influence against the United States with the help of extraordinary?
I hope that Europe is going to be great again. Europe is going through a lot of problems, and a lot of it's having to do with immigration. And I'm not a big fan of Europe and what they've done with immigration at all. And I think they got to get smart because Europe is being very badly hurt by what they've done with immigration. Now, I'll say this, that the Prime Minister has taken a very tough stand on immigration.
Nice.
And I commented to her before. I said, I wish more people would be like you having to
Way
do
to
with
go,
that
Meloni.
subject, but they're not.
Meloni?
Europe is very important to me. Europe is very important to the world. I want Europe to do very well. I think they have to get a lot smarter on immigration.
But we are beginning doing it.
agree.
You will see now the policies of the European Union in the last, let's say, 2.5 years have been changing. Okay, at the beginning we were talking only about
No.
how we were redistributing
That's a lie.
illegal migrants coming to Italy. Now we are talking mainly about how to stop.
That's a lie. She's full of shit. That's a lie. Maybe in Italy, maybe she's stuck in her little time chamber of, or vacuum chamber of Italy. But that's not how it is in Europe. Not at all. You go anywhere else in Europe, they're being overrun by so many different countries. And you don't have to take my word for it. Google it. What countries in Europe have an immigration crisis? And it'll pull it up. She said in 2 years, within the last 2 years. I'll pull it up. She's full of shit. I don't believe it.
Illegal migration, work with the
Maybe
countries
they're
of
doing
origin
better.
and transit, and to return people. The European
exactly
Commission
like
just did the new rules about repatriations and things like that. So things are changing.
Yeah.
Thanks to
On top of that, the EU literally overthrew the election in Romania. Like, if there's a time to not trust the EU, it's right now. They literally overthrew an election in Romania. There was an election going, the guy won, and then they said that the person who was picked was not the right choice, so they're doing a redo. What the fuck? Okay, first of all, what the fuck? Secondly, then in Turkey, there is the current prime minister or president, I don't know what it is, the leader of Turkey. There's the current leader of Turkey, and he just arrested He literally just arrested his opposing party because of, well, his party was going to destroy him, by the way. The current president in Turkey, or leader in Turkey, is losing popularity votes like crazy. So he was gonna lose to this guy, got him arrested for the guise of taking over the government, which he was running for president. So technically he was good. Like, oh, wow. Just wow. And this lady is telling me that she's actually, like, the EU is actually doing these things that they clearly are not doing because immigration crisis is even worse over there than it was over here, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
The example that Italy brought in lowering the rates of illegal migration. So they, we are working now together. So I'm optimistic on that.
Good. I hope so. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I'd like to ask President Meloni if you have discussed the option of starting deal with Italy on telecommunications, and President Trump, if you want to see the Google company growing up.
The Google what?
The Google company.
What about
the Google business? I want to see it growing up. It's a great.
Go ahead, please.
Oh, well, we didn't discuss about Starlink. We've been discussing about defense space, where we will work together also in the Mars missions. So there are big things to do together, but we didn't discuss it.
Question? Okay.
Prime Minister that changed your mind potentially about tariffs and what you plan to do going forward?
No.
Is there anything the Prime Minister said to you that changed your perspective?
No, tariffs are making us rich. We were losing a lot of money under Biden, trillions of dollars, trillions on trade. And now that whole tide has turned. We're making a lot of money. We're taking in a lot of money. Don't forget, we're taking in 25% on cars, 25% on steel, 25% on aluminum, 10% baseline.
Damn.
We put penalties on China for sending us fentanyl. We put penalties on Mexico and Canada, 25% for.
You see that when he said we're putting tariffs on China?
We put penalties on China for sending us fentanyl.
Oof.
We put penalties on Mexico and we put penalties on China for sending us fentanyl. Oof. We put penalties on Mexico and Canada.
I love her expression.
25% for allowing fentanyl
like,
and allowing the borders to be weak. No, we're taking in billions and billions of dollars while I sit here and talk to you. And we didn't take in anything before, other than the tariffs that I put on previous to Biden, which were the tariffs I put on China, where we took in, up until this point, probably $700 billion. They were Trump tariffs. He tried to weaken them. He did everything he could. You know, he got paid money by China, right? The family got paid money. He did. And so I don't know, maybe that was the reason or maybe it wasn't. But he tried to weaken them, but he couldn't, because there was so much money that his budgets, you know, they couldn't stand not doing it. But I took in up till this point, my tariffs on China. Nobody ever took in 10 cents from China. No other president took in 10 cents. I took in more than $700 billion from China. So we're doing very well. I mean, our country's doing very well. They had a bad report today from one of the healthcare companies that had an impact on the stock market. But this isn't about that. This is really, we're building a base. We're building a country like no other. And again, I had the strongest economy in the history of our country by far, history of any country probably, but the history of our country in 4 years. And I think this has a chance to be much better.
Can you just clarify on the mineral deal? Will that be signed here at the White House with Ukraine on Thursday? Will President Zelensky be coming here for that?
I don't know exactly. I'm going to leave that to Scott. What do you think? Where would it be signed and when?
Yeah, we're still working on the details. We're shooting for around 8.
Hey, Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. I'm a huge fan. Hey, what is your #1 tip for saving money?
Get the fuck out of here.
Is there any more detail that you could tell us about what's in that deal and how it came together?
It's substantially what we'd agreed on previously, but president was here, we had a memorandum of understanding. We went straight to the big deal, and I think it's an 80-page agreement, and that's what will be signed.
President Trump, on rate cuts, can you clarify on rate cuts, do you intend to seek Powell's firing if he doesn't change his stance on rate cuts?
There. I he didn't say one thing.
Well, I think he should do the rate cuts because I think if Europe has done it, it puts us at a disadvantage to Europe. I mean, he plays right into their hands. So I think he should do the rate cuts. We don't have really inflation now. I just said the major things are going down. Oil is great. Oil is way ahead of schedule, and that's because of our policies. But oil is down into the $60, $65 range now per barrel. And I told you, in certain states we have less than $2 for gasoline. And
that's insane. Where is
food
that?
is down.
Like
groceries, as we call it, are down.
Kansas?
Other than interest rates, everything's down. Interest rates are pretty flat. They're not. It's not that they're up, but we should be better than flat. We should. If he would lower the interest rate, I think it would have a good impact on that too. But the costs are down. We have very little inflation. I would say we have essentially no inflation. Hard to have inflation when oil goes down, and oil goes down. When Biden came in, oil went through the roof. That's what caused our problem. That and his very dumb spending. But when the oil prices go down, and they have gone down a lot, we've gotten it down really good. We've opened it up and we've gotten them down. And that means that people driving cars are going to be paying $2 and $2.50 instead of $4.50. And, you know, even at the end, they tried just for the purpose of the election to get it down. But they had really lost that sucker. It was not good. But if they had won, oil right now would be at $7 or $8 because of their policy. And we're going to be at about $2. Could be even a little bit less than that. And you're starting to see it. So I don't know how you can have inflation when oil has come down quite a bit. And I would say the Fed really owes it to the American people to get interest rates down. That's the only thing he's good for. And he would have an effect on that if he lowered them. And
I don't understand why they.
I think at some point he will. He's going to have a lot of political pressure. You know, they are.
I wonder.
Political also.
I'm sure there's reasons.
And I think there's a lot of political pressure for him to lower interest rates. Okay.
This has to be the last question.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
Do you think that Italy can be your best ally in Europe? And also, do you ever notice when you work with your opponents?
Only if the prime minister remains the prime minister can it be our best. she's doing a great job, and yeah, certainly one of our great allies, not just in Europe, anywhere. She's a fantastic person and doing a great job, and our relationship is great. And we have a lot of Italians in this country, I tell you, and they like Trump. And they voted for Trump. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Wow. How interesting. That was a lot of information, a lot of things that went on and are going on, I guess. And then on Thursday, what's today? So it's next Thursday. Next Thursday, they said that there was going to be a signing for the deals of Ukraine, if that's what I heard. So there's a lot of stuff going on. You got this lady, Meloni, I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher her name, but I just don't know how to say it. But she came, she made a deal, probably, I don't know. They had a meeting before. And I hope that what happens at the end of the day, okay, by the end of all this crazy tariff, I tariff you, you tariff me, I don't like this, you don't like that, we're doing a whole yo-yo back and forth thing. I hope, which I highly doubt it, but I hope the end result is that all parties, some will have to suffer a little bit more than others, and some will gain more than others. But hopefully what happens is that it comes to a point where almost everybody can be at an equal playing field regarding, you know, like, at least, you know, their economy, so that as a whole, the world can move forward. You know, instead of one nation is better than everybody else, which is stupid. It'd be better if we could work as a whole, the whole world, not as just one nation, the whole world, so that we can collectively be better. Does that make sense? I hope you understand what I'm saying, because I want you to do better, and myself do better, and everybody to do better. But if you like that video, please like the video, leave a comment, press that bell notification, because that just helps out a lot for some reason. I don't know why. But as always, I will see you all in another video. Bye-bye.